We're in Kyoto today, home to 1,600 plus Buddhist temples, something like 400 Shinto shrines, and lots of Aeron, and lots of Swablu. For whatever reason. That's just the biome. That's just the weather, I suppose. Also lots of mosquitoes. Probably can't see that one, but there it is. That's probably my 30th bite today. But real quick, I want to talk about the Ultra Bonus. A lot of people are happy with it. Personally, very happy with it. But some people are also unhappy with it. I posted a poll on Twitter, 12,657 votes right now. And over a quarter of people say they don't like the Ultra Bonus. The Ultra Bonus, again, is that the legendary birds, Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres, are returning for a week starting on September 13th. You can get their shinies. After that, on September 20th, Mewtwo moves to regular raids. Mewtwo will be available as a regular level 5 legendary raid boss for over a month. And then finally, the Gen 1 regional Pokemon, Mr. Mime, Farfetch'd, Kangaskhan, and Tauros will be available through 7-kilometer eggs that you get from gifts by sending those gifts to friends. Now I want to go back to before the Ultra Bonus was announced and before I was covered in mosquitoes. But before the Ultra Bonus was announced, I think the most common thing was people were expecting Mewtwo Day, the same way we had Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres Day. People were expecting Mewtwo Day and to see Deoxys take its place in EX raids. And it turns out that's basically what we're getting. I think a lot of people failed to read between the lines here and see that Mewtwo moving to regular raids for a month means that it's going to be replaced in EX raids. And this is sort of a drawback of the EX raid system that I've been talking about since the beginning, in that Niantic is going to have to make Mewtwo available to everyone before they cycle it out of EX raids. Because if Mewtwo leaves EX raids and never becomes available as a regular raid boss, there's going to be a lot of people who didn't get one. So moving Mewtwo to regular raids basically, to me, says Deoxys or some other Pokemon is going to come in after that and replace it. Right? Right. As far as reading between the lines, also, the Gen 1 regionals becoming available in eggs means that we're probably going to get some new regionals in Gen 4 very soon. We're just about ready for Gen 4 to launch in Pokemon GO, and we're obviously going to have new regional Pokemon replace them. So I'm sure many of you remember, I've been very vocal in my support of regional Pokemon. I like the real-world aspect of it. I like that it gives people some incentive to travel. At this point now we have trading, so you can trade with people who have traveled. If you don't have the means to travel, there's always trading. Let me just share my perspective on it, the perspective that I've kind of always had, that is sort of the motivation behind everything I say about the game, the way that I feel about the game, and that's that the game is secondary to everything else. For me, it might not make sense because from what you see, the game is my life, but to me, it's absolutely secondary. There's people saying that, oh, it doesn't mean anything that I have a regional now because everyone's going to be able to get it. But for me, coming to Japan for the first time wasn't about catching Farfetch'd. It was nice that I could catch a Farfetch'd and bring it back and show people and go, look what I got. But all of this is the main reason. With Mewtwo, once we figured out how to trigger EX raids, it became a fairly straightforward process. And there are a lot of people who feel that their Mewtwo is losing value. They've worked so hard with their raid groups to trigger an EX raid every week to get their Mewtwo, to earn their Mewtwo. But to me, again, the Mewtwo, the game, is secondary. That time that you spent with those people, those relationships that you built with your raid group, that's what's important. And I think if you move forward and look at things with that perspective, it's a lot easier to be happy for people that they're finally getting their opportunity to catch a Mewtwo, their opportunity to hatch a regional Pokemon. Giving something to someone else doesn't take anything away from you. And seeing as we're at a Buddhist temple right now, and one of the core tenets of Buddhism is contentment and being happy with what you have, here's a quote that kind of sums it up and is attributed to Buddha or some kind of Buddhist teachings, but I'm certainly not a Buddhist, but there are many principles of Buddhism that I practice in my life, and trying to be content is one of those. This quote, let me just read this quote. Happiness will never come to those who fail to appreciate what they already have. Think about that. Apply it to your life. Apply it to Pokemon Go. And really, don't worry about what other people are doing. Be happy for them when they get something new. It doesn't take anything away from you. Must look familiar, right? I hope it looks familiar. I'm back. Fushimi Inari Taisha. This is where I caught Mew. This is a very special place in my Pokemon Go history. This time around though, unfortunately, a lot of these trails are closed because of the typhoon that just came through. Biggest storm to make landfall in Japan in the last 25 years. Knocked over a ton of trees, broke a bunch of branches, damaged a lot of the torii gates here. So you really can't go much further, but as we're walking around here, seeing all this kind of damage at a shrine like this, a Shinto shrine, it has me contemplating, as I often do, that Japan has consistently throughout history been under threat of so many different types of natural disasters. There's earthquakes, there's tsunami, there's typhoons, volcanic eruptions occasionally. And I think that kind of tempestuous relationship with nature plays a huge part in the development of a tradition, of a practice, a religion like Shinto, wherein nature is worshipped and respected. Because as a society, if you're constantly under threat from nature, you have to develop some way of feeling like you can appease it, like there's something you can do to help. I've said it before, but it's that desire to live in harmony with nature that's built into Japanese culture, that's built into practices like Shinto. That's the thing that I love most about this place and this culture and this country and these bugs that keep biting me. But I respect them.
I've never had a shiny before. This is ridiculous. I want to take a picture of it.
Full odds, full odds. How far are we from the... So it's me and Zoe today. Ironically, Reversal and Holly both, we've been here. Reversal and Holly have never been to Kyoto before, and we're the ones out kind of exploring and enjoying. So, hopefully later they'll join us.
Yeah.
But right now, snacks, obviously, and then Zoe's got a secret spot, which we were trying to get to through the shrine, but now we've kind of mapped a way around, and we're gonna see if we can make it out that way.
Fingers crossed. So, it's a really beautiful spot. Like, it's just like this tiny little tucked away, accidentally went down like the back streets, found it last time, and it's magic. So if we can get there.
Where are you taking me?
Just out into the woods somewhere. No one will ever ask any questions.
We've come up a very long and steep road. But there's a ton of Pokestops ahead. Some of which Zoe has spun, so I trust you.
We're in the right place.
We're almost there. Just up above the waterfall, there's a wood carving workshop. And as we were standing outside, the shokunin, the craftsman, the wood carver, opened the door and invited us in. He said he's been carving for 30 years. He's been in this workspace for 25. He showed us all kinds of projects and carvings that he had done, but my personal favorite was this one. He said it was inspired by global warming and the Paris Climate Accord, hence the French flag on the shirt. And the arms and legs kicking out in different directions represent the balance we have to find with nature. This was another one of my favorites. Inside, there were a lot of different hearts. He asked if we wanted to reach inside and see how many we could find. I said 9, Zoe found 11, and then he told us the number of hearts you found inside are the number of wishes that you can have that'll come true. We sat in this little workshop and talked for at least 45 minutes. This man was so kind, so happy to share with us. And after we thanked him and bought a few souvenirs, a few of his carvings, and left the workshop, we walked a little further up the hill and witnessed firsthand and up close some of the damage that was caused by the typhoon. And for me personally, when I see things like this, it really just puts into perspective what's important. If you have the time to play Pokemon Go, chances are you're in a pretty good place in the world.